Hey GlamFam, Linwood here, and today I wanted to talk to you guys really quickly about relaxers. I hear a lot of myths and some interesting stuff about relaxers and all of that loveliness. So I wanted to go ahead and kind of dispel some of the rumors, some of the myths, and give you some of the truth about relaxers and kind of what dangers lie ahead and what things you should watch out for if you're considering getting one. So the first of which is I hear so many different people that feel like they're putting relaxer in their hair, but it's not as damaging because they use a kitty perm. I forgot to throw my quotes around that. Basically, the kitty relaxer and the adult relaxer, the key difference is this. There's a child's face on the box. You're welcome. That's a marketing ploy. It's the exact same stuff. It's usually calcium hydroxide that's in there. Anytime that you've got a two-part mix, it's usually calcium hydroxide or it's guanidine hydroxide, and basically you are just mixing up two different chemicals to treat the hair. Now, the interesting thing about sensitive scalp relaxers is that they usually are sensitive scalp and the fact that they're not going to burn you as easily, but they're actually more damaging to the hair in a lot of instances, especially if it's calcium hydroxide, because it does tend to leave a calcium buildup on the hair, which doesn't easily come off and usually only comes off by using a sodium hydroxide relaxer. Now, sodium hydroxide relaxer is usually one of the no mix relaxers, and you can get them in mild formulations. I will tell you there is no such thing, even if it says so, as a no base relaxer. That means that with every relaxer you do, whether it's a retouch, a virgin application, whatever the case may be, you need to be basing the entire scalp with a protective base cream. And this is the only instance that you will really hear me say, well, this and one other instance, that you'll hear me say that you should be using a petroleum-based product, because it creates a barrier on there that's difficult for the relaxer to eat through. So you want to make sure that you're using something that's protective like that on the scalp prior to doing something like that. You also want to ensure that you have not been scratching prior to relaxer. You haven't had any caffeine, because it awakens the body, it opens the pores and makes you more susceptible to burning. That you're not wearing a hat, because wherever that hat has been rubbing, you are more likely to burn. That you are not putting like you're not shampooing your hair up to 3 days prior to getting a relaxer, that you have not done any vigorous scratching, rubbing, or brushing of the scalp. All of these different things can cause irritation to the scalp, thereby causing burning, scabbing, and possibly hair loss if there's bad enough damage due to the relaxer, or prolonged damage due to the relaxer, as in, like, let's say for instance you're constantly relaxing and you burn every time. Now, I will tell you, I hear a lot of people, especially new clients that will come to me, that will say things like, oh no, you don't have to rinse my hair yet, the relaxer's not burning my scalp. The relaxer was never made for your scalp. A relaxer's job is to relax your curl. Now, there's a number of different things I want to touch on here. A relaxer's job is to relax the curl, not to remove the curl. It's not a curl remover, it's a curl relaxer, which means your hair should not be bone straight. It should still have some degree of wave to it. That's how you know your hair still has tensile strength. If you remove all of the curl, you have essentially removed all of the hair's strength. Okay? So whenever you're dealing with that, just keep that in mind. The other thing is, the relaxer is not made for your scalp. It's made for your hair. If it's on your scalp and your scalp is burning, you should immediately rinse it, period. Your scalp should never, ever, ever be burning when you're relaxing. That is a bad sign, okay? You could be doing permanent damage to your scalp. Key things that you really want to keep in mind here is, I see so many people where they feel like, well, I relax my hair every 4 weeks. I pull it all the way through every time. When I tell you, I've seen so many mistakes with relaxers. It is ridiculous, and it's one of the reasons why relaxers get such a horrible rap. Now, I'm not going to tell you that I'm just like go relaxers, team relaxers, or any of the rest of that. I am all about healthy hair. So I feel like if you're going to do a relaxer, you need to do it as healthy as possible. And that is why I'm doing this video. So I will tell you guys, the minimum amount of time you have to wait for relaxer is 6 to 8 weeks. Now, some people act like it has to be in that window. You can actually stretch it far longer. Most of my clients stretch anywhere from 10 to 18 weeks, depending on their hair fabric and how well conditioned their hair is, how frequently I see them. There are a lot of different factors that can take a place or a role in there. And so I will say that by keeping that moisture balance nice and high, you'll notice that you don't need a relaxer. You don't feel like you need a relaxer near as frequently. Another thing that I notice about a lot of my relaxed clients is that they are less likely to deep condition their hair. And my clients who are naturals are usually deep conditioning like once a week. I mean, it's crazy because people act like if you go natural, you have to deep condition your hair. But to be honest with you, you have literally changed up the chemical composition of your hair. When you put a relaxer on there, it opens up the cuticle layers, goes into the cortex, and changes your disulfide bond, which is 2 sulfur atoms, and basically converts it and lanthionizes it into a lanthionine bond. So you're literally permanently changing the structure of your hair, which means that you cannot put apple cider vinegar on there or any other mixture on there and make your hair go back natural. I don't care who told you what. It's not possible. You have chemically changed the composition of your hair. The only way to get that out is to grow it out and remove the relaxed portions. It's the only way to do it. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but that just is the way it is. Once you have damaged your disulfide bond, damage is irreversible. And the same thing applies for heat damage. A lot of times when you're doing that, you have thereby damaged your disulfide bond. So this video has been a ton of information in one solid swoop. So if it seemed like it was a bit too much, just let me know, and that way I can try to take it and break it down in bite-sized chunks, because I want to make sure, if nothing else, I'm giving you guys the best information possible. If you did find this informative, please let me know by leaving a comment down in the comment box below, clicking the thumbs up, or sharing this with a friend who is interested in relaxing, has been relaxing, and you know has been doing it too frequently, or has been trying to get healthier hair. They seem like their hair is not quite growing past a certain length. There's a good chance that they are not minding one of these steps here. Okay? So until next time, you guys, take care and God bless. And as always, stay glam. I love you guys. Bye-bye.